It's a pleasure to welcome Greg Frewin, of course, of the Greg Frewin Theatre, a premier magic show right here in Niagara Falls. And Greg, welcome to the program first off.
Well, thanks for having me today.
Very frustrating for you at this point in time not being able to put on shows in your theater. How are you dealing with that shutdown?
A lot of couch sitting. It's been tough. This is the first time in my complete career and history that I've ever gone this long without performing. Back when we were traveling the world, my wife and I were very fortunate that we, because of all the awards I had won and different things that I had done on TV, that we never really had a break. We were able to do right to contract. We chose where and what we wanted to do. And so this has been in 30 plus years, the first time that I've had this kind of time off. And, I'll say this much, if this is what retirement looks like, I'm not ready.
Now, you say you haven't been performing, but back in April, you did a series of 4 online programs bringing magicians from around the world to raise some money for charity. How did that go? What was that experience like?
We did 4 of them. It started out as 1. It was an idea. Hey, let's try this. And then it turned into 3, then 4. But basically, I'm on the board of the Niagara SPCA, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And we wanted to, at the time, especially in the first, it's been a struggle all the way through for them. But at the first phases of this, like everybody, it was difficult. So I contacted a bunch of my friends from around the world. I've got magician friends from pretty well every country in the world, some of the top guys, and they were all gracious to come and do a piece while they did it live from their home. And we put together these 4 shows, which are still up on our website, gregfrewintheatre.com. And they were very successful. It was a very great event, but it was a lot of work. I admire you guys. You guys put a lot of work in.
Was it difficult for you to bring the energy that you bring to a live audience to a camera?
Yeah, that was a learning curve, and I still would say that I'm not great at it. I mean, it's like anything, right? My whole career has been in front of people and watching their reaction, and you feed off of that reaction. And when you're looking at a camera, and we only had 2 other people in the building, it wasn't like we had 50 people here. So yeah, it was a little weird at first. By the 3rd one, I was getting a little more comfortable. But once again, if I was going to do this for a living, I would definitely I've got a lot of work under my ahead of me if I was going to do that.
You have started planning for reopening. At what stage are you in your planning? And do you have sort of almost like a stepped plan?
Well, for us, we've got the theater all set up. The great thing is our theater, our building is very big. We have a massive lobby, which I know you've been here before, so you probably remember the lobby's actually bigger than the actual theater. We actually have 2 sets of bathrooms as well. So we have a lot of things on our side from being able to social distance. And we actually went many weeks ago. We wanted to see, what could we do here? How many people can we get in safely, and how can we do it so that they could all enjoy, but yet feel comfortable? And surprisingly, because of the layout and the size of the theater, it worked quite well. We don't have theater seating like a traditional theater. So we were able to move tables and chairs and put them in little pods, if you want to call them. And we also have our booths, which are completely separated from everything else. So we had an advantage there. And so we've really got that part of it all taken care of. The hard part I see coming up is going to be, do I remember the show? This has been 4 months. I think the longest I went to China a couple of years ago on a big thing that they hired me for consulting on a TV show. And I was a month. And to me, that was like crazy long.
How are the Tigers doing in this downtime?
Great. They sleep about 18 hours a day anyway. So for them, they're like, this is awesome. But yeah, you know what? They do miss it. And to be honest, like when we, every day I go to see them, and, what we do here is very behavioral enrichment for them. It's very exciting. And all people and animals, they need that, right? So, I think they're feeling it. I think they'll be excited to come back. I'm excited. So yeah.
Let's go back to the fundraising shows that you did back in April online. How much money did you raise for the Niagara SPCA, and how was that received by them?
To be honest, I don't know what the end total is now, because it's been they're still airing, and I know it was over 15 grand. They received it very well, because obviously, especially in these times when they weren't able to go out and do any fundraising, they still have to have funds coming in because they're for a non-profit, right? So they were very excited, and it also opened up avenues now that we're going to be doing other shows like that for them and with them in the fall and through the winter. So it was really kind of an experiment that worked really well.
And one last question for you. The Elvis Festival planned for mid-September. Are you still planning that will go ahead right now? It hasn't officially been canceled?
As we stand here now, it is still on the docket to be a successful event. We're waiting to hear, obviously today they're going to announce phase 3, but more importantly, it'll be how the border opening, if that does happen. So at the moment, we're going to still hold on to it and see if we can make it work. We may end up pushing it into November if that's the case. We're very flexible here. We're able to do a lot of things like that. So because I kind of know the owner and kind of do things like that.
Thanks for joining us today, Greg, and good luck with your reopening plans.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Good to see you guys.